Hey guys, sorry about the shit audio. Just a quick note before we begin. This week's episode went really off the rails, even for us. So you may notice some large chunks have been censored out, and then just some rather shoddy editing, even by my standards. So yeah, that's why. Anyway, enjoy. Hello and welcome to Too Ugly for Radio, the only podcast hosted by Banksy, and you can't prove me wrong. My name is Banksy, and welcome to a very special and spooky episode.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, where today I am joined by, and this is where I'm going to silently point to you, and you can say, "It's me, Annie, a rudely toot toot," or whatever it is you always say.
It's me, Annie. I don't think I've ever said a rudely toot toot in my life, but I like that. It's me, Annie, a rudely toot toot. And I will forever introduce myself as that from now on.
Good, I'm looking forward to it. Especially when you've got a job interview this week.
I think that's a pretty surefire way to get a job, to be honest. Anyway.
I mean, not if you're applying for jobs like a speech therapist.
That's quite a good tongue twister, really. I think that could be a good way to, you know. Anyway, spooky, you say?
Yeah, spooky, because this is our Halloween special.
Ah!
Yeah, even though it's April.
So ready for Halloween in several months' time.
In all honesty, I just found something spooky to watch, and I'm like, well, why not make it a Halloween special?
You know how much I hate horror movies, right?
Wow, this is gonna be fun.
Like, I had to study horror movies in year 13 film, and I, begged my teacher to make it a different film genre, so I didn't have to watch horror movies. And then, when he refused, I just didn't, I'd read the Wikipedia summary instead.
I legit spent a week of my film degree studying pornography. And then I wrote a paper about how pornography and horror films are similar.
I don't really know what to say to that.
Yeah, I don't think the person marking my paper did either. I got a reasonable grade. So, Annie.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a TV show called Tales from the Crypt?
No.
I mean, I know you have because I mentioned this briefly to you in the car before. But other than that...
No.
Good.
I haven't.
Neither have I. I've heard whispers of it on the internet.
Just a little bit.
So,
yeah.
Enough times for it to stay in my memory, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm going to watch it. So that's what we're going to do now.
I can't wait. So, wow, actually, I'm a bit nervous because of my aforementioned dread of horror movies.
I mean, you can't just assume with a name like Tales from the Crypt that it's going to be a horror.
I beg to differ. I think that you can make that assumption. Also, I feel that you kind of said that when you prefaced this podcast by saying it was a spooky episode.
Yeah. Should we just knuckle on into that?
Let's do it.
Cool.
It was supposed to be like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
30 seconds, 4 minutes. Oh well.
I play it fast and loose.
I like to talk. That's good.
And we're back.
Oh wow. I don't really know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that.
From what I knew about the show, I thought that it was the Twilight Zone for kids or Goosebumps.
That's kind of what... Honestly, that's what I expected from the intro.
Right.
But, how wrong we were.
Because, they had the host of the show, the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Who's this zombie-looking puppet with this really cartoonishly bad voice.
Yeah.
He's like...
It's like classic witch voice, really.
Yeah, makes the Wicked Witch of the West sound genuinely sinister.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like everything he says is just a pun on like morbid words like corpse or death.
Yeah. I was like, does he have a weird accent, or is he saying, like, what were they? I can't remember the examples. Like gross.
Well, because like this one
remember.
started off with, oh god, okay, no, I'm good. So this episode starts off with him pretending to be a marriage counselor, and he's got the married couple in, and they're having an argument, and he's like, "Do you remember how you felt about each other when you were newly bleds?"
That's right. And then there was a it wasn't a wedding, it was a bleeding or something. No,
Yeah.
that wasn't correct. Wrong,
Just like
but similar.
any word he could swap out for something that sounded vaguely the same. Like, I think he said a closer look. He said like a.
That was right, a grosser look.
Yeah, and then he said like maybe his new look will grow on her. He's like maybe his new look will ghoul on her.
Like so bad, but very like child cartoon introduction-esque.
And also like the whole intro to the show is just like first person view of a camera going through like this haunted ass looking house.
Yeah.
That reminded me of like the I Spy Halloween edition.
I haven't seen that. Wait, is I Spy a movie? I just know I Spy from the books.
Yeah, there's the books and then there's the PC games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it did remind me of like those like horror horror computer games.
But for kids.
But for children. Like a little bit like Slenderman.
Slenderman.
A little bit like Slender Man, but not as creepy. But just like the whole, it reminds me of like a found footage horror movie, but poor quality.
And so,
Bizarre.
yeah, they like do the running gag about the newly bleds or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like, here's tonight's episode.
Right, and classic child TV formula.
Yeah.
Let me open my book and tell you a fable from my book.
Mm-hmm.
And was it the Crypt Keeper?
Yes.
Opens the book. Remember these two people? And you're like, haha, I'm in for a great old kid's slightly spooky story.
It's exactly how like, did you ever see the show The Midnight Society?
No.
That's what I was expecting this to be. It's like a bunch of kids sitting around a campfire and they go, tonight I present to the Midnight Society the lady who drove down the road and there was a murder in the backseat of a car. Spooky.
Right. Or like a Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like someone reading you a Goosebumps story or something. Yeah.
But then, like, as soon as this opens, it's three people driving around in a car and there's the lady in the backseat just, like, stroking a shotgun. And I'm like, wow, the 90s were a different time.
So
Like,
bizarre.
the fact that you could have guns in children's shows.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is quite intense for a children's show. And then,
also,
sorry.
And
Karen.
really impressive that they got Ewan McGregor
I know.
to be in this children's show.
But then, he was pretty terrible, to be honest, don't you think?
I mean, I feel like it was the early 90s. It was, like, before his career took off.
But what was that accent? I was like, I don't even know what continent you're trying to be from.
Sometimes he reminded me of a young Forrest Gump.
I can actually see that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he had a bit of a very Forrest Gumpy accent.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he had like an almost Irish accent.
Just like he's slipping back into his normal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
And like that first scene where they're driving around in the car goes on for ages.
So long and so boring. And like bizarre early 2000s/90s hip hop beat underlying it.
Yeah.
Like very white boy hip hop beat is just strange.
Like, I know that they're driving around looking for something and they can't find it. And the idea is they're getting tired of looking for it, it's taking so long. And that we're supposed to feel that, but I got that. And then the scene just kept on going.
Right, you were like, I really feel you now. Like, I'm with you 100%. Everyone's tired of this.
Also, on what you were saying before about like the white boy hip hop from 2000s.
Oh,
Very Need for Speed Underground.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
I do. I played the hell out of Need for Speed Underground too.
Okay. I feel like the common theme of this is that I don't really play computer games.
I mean, it was on PlayStation,
Okay.
but yeah, I think you've proved your point by saying that.
Yes. It's the same thing.
Oh yeah, so the guy who's driving the car is called Cutters, and like they're getting pissed off with him because they're like, "Where's the bank, Cutters?" He's like, "It's around here," and they're like, "No, it's clearly not, you piece of shit." And so Cutters pulls over the car and just like pulls out a knife and holds it up to his face.
I know.
I'm like, well, man, children's shows in the 90s were intense.
I love that you were still on that buzz. I was like, whoa, this is something else. That's so funny.
I mean, like, I remember in like the first season of Pokemon, they showed people with guns.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could believe that this was still a kid's show.
Yeah. At a stretch, you could say different time.
But just the fact that he was holding a knife to Ewan McGregor's face.
Oh my gosh. And then Ewan McGregor was like, not the face, and you're like, you vain fuck.
Yeah, right.
Are you allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah, well, I used to censor out the swears, but then I got too lazy.
Well, you could just delete this bit and I'll say, you veiny.
Jessica used to censor out the swears,
Oh.
but now she doesn't because I got my own editing software. So Jessica's a useless piece of shit.
Oh. Don't say that about
I'm
Jessica.
kidding. Jessica's lovely.
Love Jessica. Just for all the podcasters out there, we thoroughly endorse Jessica.
You may remember Jessica from our episode on Captain Marvel, where she sponsored the episode because she gave me $30 for my birthday, and I used that to buy tickets to go see Captain Marvel.
Just one of the many examples of how Jessica is lovely,
Mm-hmm.
and we love her.
Like that time I called her Grace for 3 months, and she only corrected me once.
What?
Yeah, I thought her name was Grace. She didn't correct me till like 3 months in. But I feel like that was in large part due to the fact that I was really good at hiding. I didn't know what her name was.
True. Wow. That is a little bit of friendship history that I did not know about. That's
Yeah.
great. That is great. And then people were just getting shot.
Right?
But it was like poor special effects, and it just. Usually I'm like, oh no, I don't want to watch that. But it just was so weird that I was like, okay.
Like it was bad? Like you didn't actually think people were bleeding out?
Yeah. I was just like, oh, is this a joke? And to be fair, by the end of it, everyone had been shot so much and hadn't died
True.
that it kind of, yeah.
Because like they were looking for a bank to rob.
Yeah.
The bank they went to rob was closed down.
And had some signs saying, coming soon, laundrette.
Then they walked in and it was a convenience store.
Yeah, I think she was saying the fact that the bank has become a laundrette is a bad omen. Let's call it a night
True.
and tap out. And Ewan was like, no, let's go rob the convenience store.
Yeah. And like, as they're walking into the convenience store, she's like, nah, babe, I got these bad vibes. It's not rob the place. She had an annoying accent.
You know what she sounded like?
What?
Did you watch the... Oh, this is quite shameful for me to reference, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I've done like 3 episodes on Transformers, and you can speak freely, yeah.
I mean, I think this is potentially weird. So, did you watch any of the last season of Love Island from the UK?
No.
Listen, I was in the UK, it was all the rage, I watched it anyway.
I mean,
Danny...
when I was in the UK, I watched like live late night gambling.
I feel like Love Island potentially better than that. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I watched 1 episode. You clearly watched a season, so let's not compare here.
I mean, yes, but let me just say this for all of the international podcasters out there, of which I'm sure there are many.
You're giving a lot of credit to how many people listen to this podcast.
Anyone from the UK will know what I'm talking about. 2018 season of Love Island. I religiously watched it, and she sounds like Danny from Love Island, which means nothing to you and
Cool.
is a poor comment, but any UK person would say, yes, Eddie, 100% right. Ha ha ha. It would be a great little interaction.
I'm glad. I hope that you and all of the show's UK listeners,
Yeah.
which is probably 0,
But I'm sure you all found that hilarious.
Oh, what joke of the podcast? Joke of the podcast.
If you're looking for some Love Island content, though, I went to the airport recently.
Oh,
I wasn't flying anywhere. I was just seeing off my family.
okay.
They came up for my birthday. It was a
you were
lovely
just
time.
going for a visit. Anyway, yep.
I
Seeing
mean,
off your family.
I invited you. You didn't come to my birthday.
Yes. I didn't realise that this was the direction this podcast would be going.
Oh, this whole thing was a ruse just to shame you for not coming to my party.
Now to the main event, and he didn't come to my birthday party. Oh, heartfelt apologies.
No, don't give me that shit.
Okay.
So I was at the airport.
Jeez. I thought about it. That makes you feel better.
I don't know if you never said you'd come, but
Yeah.
like the day before my birthday, you're like, yeah, I'm in Christchurch. I'm not coming to your party.
Well, I clicked maybe on the event.
Yeah.
And I almost right up into that day, I thought to myself, maybe I'll make it up there.
Cool. I appreciate that commitment.
I was so committed to your party that I haven't worked for the last 3 months. in
Wow,
order to-
that's commitment. I'm so honoured that you would turn down employment opportunities for me for 3 months.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I was at the airport seeing off my
Right, so
family.
you're at the airport. Yep, good-o.
And they've got one of those electronic billboards. And like every 30 seconds, the entire billboard was taken up by an ad for Love Island. I was there for like
That's amazing.
an hour
Yeah.
because my family were just waiting for their flight, so I was waiting there with them. And can you imagine sitting in front of a billboard for an hour,
Yeah.
but every 30 seconds the same ad for Love Island comes on, and it's just a bunch of smug people in swimsuits looking at you like, ha ha ha, will I find love? Because I'm a 10 out of 10, but I've never found love before.
I think that should be the new tagline for Love Island.
Hey, look, official opinion of Too Ugly for Radio.
Yeah.
To all you people who are on Love Island,
Yeah.
fuck you. Just most sincerely, fuck you.
Yeah.
Imagine being a 4 out of 10 and trying to find love, and then, like, you see people on TV who could be models in, like, maybe a Kmart catalogue, and they're like, I've just never found the right person. It's like, it's because you're a stuck-up bitch.
But you know what it is? Because they have no interests at all. Nothing.
No, they do. It's themselves.
Okay. Aside from that, the conversations, I don't know, but when I go on a date with someone or I'm interested in someone, you know, it's me, and so I talk about feminism and politics and theatre and how chocolate's great and, you know, whatever. You know, hobbies. I have some hobbies. I have interests. I like people to share in those interests. We chat about things. Great.
Good.
Dating. Love Island. They just will sit there and be like, so, do you like me then? Because Tom over there said that you like me. What do you reckon? Do you like me? Because I kind of fancy you a little bit. And they just talk all about themselves and each other and their relationships, and you're just like, do you do anything with your life ever apart from... I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, sorry, Love Island rant. It's very entertaining to watch, clearly, because I
That's
watched
so
the
good.
whole season of it.
Like, look, 100 points to you for doing an accent for that long. But also, related, but not Love Island.
Yeah,
Mona was watching Married at First Sight the other day,
classic.
so I watched it with her.
Nice.
Because I'm just one of those boyfriends who, you know,
Bloody champion.
I don't have my own life. If she's watching something, I'm in the room and that's what I do.
Good-o. Good-o.
And this couple that had been married for like 2 days, the woman was opening up her heart to her husband.
Right.
She's like, you know, when I was a child, I was in the foster care system. You know,
Well, full on. Yeah.
I moved around a lot. I went through a lot of foster families, and so that's left me with some real commitment issues. Like 2 minutes into this conversation, her husband turns around to her and goes, "Look, I'm not your therapist. I'm your husband."
Oh, my lord.
Right? Like,
What?
that woman's clearly sharing too much. This is on her.
Craig! No, I was about to be like, he's not your therapist, and he is soon to not be your husband either. Divorce that man, bitch. Anyway.
I like that this episode is on Tales of the Crypt. We've probably talked more about reality TV shows.
I mean, yes. That's probably my fault for bringing up Love Island. Anyway, she has an annoying voice. And she sounds like Danny from Love Island.
So, they're going in to rob this corner store.
Right, yeah.
And the woman with her annoying accent. We don't even learn the names, do we? There's Cutter, who's the guy who with the knives. There's Ewan McGregor, and then there's the female one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, irrelevant.
But the lady says, I got a bad feeling about this, babe.
Yep.
Your accent was much better. And Ewan McGregor goes, look, I'm Ewan McGregor. And also, we've done these jobs like 1,000 times before, and only the bad guys have guns. We're sweet as.
Great line. The NRA could almost use that. Anyway.
So they go in to rob this corner store, but it's already being robbed.
Genius.
There's
Amazing.
like this Asian biker gang is robbing them.
With full bike helmets on still.
I mean, look, that makes sense. You don't even need to wear a mask. Ewan McGregor and co didn't think to wear a mask, so the biker gang's got one up on them.
Yeah, and if you got shot in the head area, chances are you'd be protected.
I mean, you'd be more effective than like a placebo pill. But one of the Asian guys did get shot in the head, and it did shit all.
Also true. I'll take it back.
It goes pear-shaped pretty quickly.
It does, as you might guess.
For the white robbers. The Asian robbers have things under control.
Yes.
But Ewan McGregor gets held at gunpoint, and he's like, oh man, don't point the gun at my face, not the face.
Right.
Well, I know Ewan McGregor is like a dreamboat, but what's this obsession with his face? I
actually don't think he's that much of a dreamboat, to be honest, but anyway.
I feel like if you met him in real life, you'd be like, hey, I'm awkward with dating.
Hey, I never said that name. Look, Ewan, you're great. Yeah.
But, man, as soon as it's like the two robbers facing off against each other,
yeah,
I'm still sitting here thinking it's a kid's show.
Still! There's been like 1 million shots there that have happened at this point.
And it's getting kind of racist. And I'm like, okay, cool. Guns, racism, 90s kid shows were edgy, man. And then the woman goes to them, I'm gonna wear your ears as a fucking necklace.
Yeah, that was next level. I mean, I'm impressed that you still thought it was a children's show at this point, but
hey, the power of belief, man.
Yeah, wow. She was wild.
And then Ewan McGregor, who's being held at gunpoint, like, look, babe, that shotgun's not gonna get us anywhere.
Yeah.
His accent's all over the place. I'm pretty sure it's more South African.
I
refuse to give up on it till I get it right.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
He's like, we're more likely to get out of here if you use what's in between your legs.
Right, what did he call the gun?
A shotty?
No, he
know.
called it some weird thing, and I was like,
Maybe we should do shotties.
Maybe we should.
Out of the ceramic Hummer that my mum got me for Christmas that's full of vodka.
Classic. I'll have just a very small shot.
I mean, Annie, they're shots. By nature, they are... Oh, fuck me. I mean, that's quite large.
That's a big shot, and I'm requesting a small one. A half shot.
Alright, let's see how we go.
That's enough.
I forgot you said half. It was like 5 seconds ago, but whatever. Cheers.
You numpty, how much?
No, that's smooth. Doesn't burn at all.
Yeah.
So, she pulls out the gun that's holstered on the inside of her thigh.
No, it was a knife, wasn't it?
It was a gun. She shot several people with it.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay, sorry.
There's a bunch of dramatic shots of her shooting, like, soda bottles on the wall.
Oh, yeah, and like a potato chip container.
Which is odd, because she's shooting at people behind the counter, so it's really weird that she kept hitting bottles on the wall.
True. Oh, well. I feel like there were probably quite a few plot flaws in
Yeah.
this thing, to be honest.
But this whole time, Cutter is sitting in the car. He's the getaway driver.
Yeah.
And he's trying to light his cigarette.
Cigar. He's a classy man.
Ooh.
Yeah, Karen.
But his cigarette, it's out of gas, man.
Fuck.
And so
Poor Cutter.
he goes inside to get some matches.
Crazy.
Which is like, dude, your accomplices have said A, keep the car running,
Yeah.
because B, they're robbing the store. Don't walk into the store they're robbing because you're like, hey, we need to pick up matches. My cigarette lighter's out.
Yeah. Not his wisest move.
And he immediately gets shot by the biker gang.
Yes.
Which is like, well, you know what? Maybe Cutter deserved this. What an utter dipshit. Also,
Yeah.
he keeps threatening to, like, cut off the faces of his co-workers.
Also true. His bosses even, I think.
Who knows?
Didn't he call him boss?
I'm
Anyway.
not familiar with the hierarchy of bank robbers,
Nor am I.
so
Was it an English accent?
there's a lot of accents that I can't do, and I just end up doing South African. And even then, it's not like spot on South African. It's just bad, chappy interpretations.
I should just clarify that. I feel like I just want to take that right back. Just cut that bit out. Not what I mean. No, cut.
I feel like to cut that out, I've got to cut out several minutes of content. I'll try.
Okay.
I make no promises.
Okay.
So, I've got a note here that simply says the Pixies.
The Pixies.
The Pixies?
The Pixels.
Oh, the Pixel. Fuck. The video we watched. I don't know if it was my internet or the fact that this was made in the early 90s.
Yeah, not great quality.
Look, the pixels in this video were great. I loved all 12 of them. But no,
There's just 12 beautiful pixels.
in all seriousness, I did wonder if it was gonna like kill me watching a video this low resolution.
It was pretty bad. I got used to it, but especially at the start, I was like, oh,
I was like, do I need to put on glasses?
Yeah,
I should.
but also no.
Can't be bothered to get up and get them.
No, I don't need glasses, and it was still pretty bad.
Yeah. So yeah, somehow, Ewan McGregor and the chick with the annoying accent make it out of there.
Not before. Ewan is shot in the leg.
True. That's vital. I'm glad you mentioned that, because my next point is all about his bullet wound.
He gets shot, but they get away.
Cutter doesn't get away.
They leave Cutter.
Cutter's like, he gets shot with a shotgun, but then, like, as they're driving off, you see him sitting in the doorway, still trying to light his cigarette with that light that's out of gas. And then he just slumps over and dies.
I feel like that was almost a good gaff.
What's a gaff?
I think I've used that word incorrectly.
Do you mean gag?
Yeah.
Hey.
I think that was almost a good gag, but somehow it
That's
just.
what she said.
Oh gosh.
Thank you.
But it wasn't somehow. It just you were just like, you guys are mean for leaving him behind, and it's
look,
just weird that he's still trying to ride a cigar.
If any of my friends, Annie, and this includes you, if you got shot with a shotgun, I'd sort of just, like, because it was in the chest, right?
I think it was. Yeah.
I'd sort of assume you were dead, and I wouldn't really risk my life to check if you were still alive after taking a shotgun to the chest.
Whoa.
No offense.
I thought that our friendship was deeper than that.
Annie, you're a close friend, but it's just a numbers game that if you take a shotgun to the chest,
Yeah.
like, if you are still alive, you probably won't survive till we get to the nearest hospital.
But having said that, Cutter was sitting up against the door. They would have.
Maybe he was slumped up against the door. I remember one time I got knocked over. I got into a brawl when I was in high school.
Oh,
I was a rowdy
you
teenager.
shit, alright.
Look, tell you what, puberty and testosterone, lethal combination. Me and my mates, we're having a good old rough up. It was playful, but
Okay, yeah, good.
you know what teenage boys are like.
Yep.
I got knocked over whilst I was on the back of a man who's about a foot taller than I was.
Oh.
And I fell on a wall-mounted radiator. Smacked the back of my head. I think it got like 12 stitches.
Oh, my
Not
gosh.
bragging.
But bragging. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, even though I'd been knocked over, I was sort of knocked over in a sitting up position because it was against the wall.
Right, yep.
So yeah.
And your friends should have left you for dead at that point. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it was English class, so it'd be weird if they left me for dead. I'm like, nah, we gotta learn about what Mr. White's teaching us. Mr. White had a tendency to just play movies and leave us to it.
So you were play fighting in English class?
Yeah.
I mean, I have some questions about the teaching of your school, but anyway.
Let me just put into context. In primary school, my grades were awful.
Okay.
When I got to high school, so I got put into like the underachievers class, you know, the no hope class. There was 3 levels of classes. There was no hope, in between, and the smart class. So I was in the no hope class at the time. Eventually, I managed to move into the overachievers class.
Nice.
Yeah.
Much hope.
No, actually, you know what? This was in the overachievers class.
Oh wow.
So yeah, me and my mates were having a play fight, but because you know we're teenage boys.
Yeah. Honestly.
We were 3 teenage boys having a brawl.
Yeah.
Can you blame the like 50-year-old English teacher for not wanting to physically pull us apart?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But like, how did you not get expelled?
Because it was a play fight. Also, I was the one who got 12 stitches, so I felt like it'd be a shit move to kick me out.
I mean, I would have kicked you out if I'd been a teacher.
Oh, Annie, you know what? That makes you a bitch.
What do you call me? What do you call me?
Hey, good callback to the thing we're supposed to be talking about.
Hey. All I'm saying is I felt quite sorry for Cutter.
All I'm saying is, side note about my stitches. Like, literally like a year later, had another accident. Hit the exact same part of my head, got like another 8 stitches there.
Oh,
I was actually kind of disappointed that I was like 4 stitches away from beating my own personal record.
Oh man, you're like, can't you just do a few more?
Yeah, like I actually said to the guy who was stitching me up, like, do you mind chucking in a few extra stitches just so I can say?
Yeah, I've had this many stitches. And he said, nah, mate.
I've had like 20-something stitches in the back of my head.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I've had 0, so you win.
You ever broken a bone?
Nope.
Neither. Kind of a pussy in that regard. Not that pussy is an insult.
You just said that before I could. Nicely done.
Thank you. I'm slowly trying to improve myself.
Myself.
Don't use pussy as an insult.
No.
Don't use animals as an insult, because saying people are chicken, you know what, animals have rights too. Become vegan today.
I feel less strongly about that one. But, okay.
That's... wow, okay.
I mean, sure.
Hey look, if you're vegan, write in, tell Annie why she's wrong. Fuck you.
Wow. I'm not saying that I hate chickens. I'm just...
No one accused you of hating chickens. It's a weird thing for you to bring up on your own.
I actually really like chickens.
I don't think you do.
I'm just saying that I feel... Yeah, anyway. Feel less
Hey, actually,
worried
you know what?
that-
Calling people a pussy, both sexist and against animals. Cats are really brave. I've seen cats fight off dogs that are at least twice their size.
Cats are very brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you call them a pussy? Kind of.
Only in the very biological sense.
Only if you want to make, like, a sex
Or if you're calling them. You know? I feel like most people call them cats, except to do the whole, hey, pussy, pussy, pussy.
You know the song, I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt?
Yes.
There's a great line. It's like, I'm too sexy for my cat. Too sexy for my cat. Poor pussy. Poor pussy cat. So the guy who sings that song would call his cat a pussy.
Or is that an innuendo?
I know that because we danced to that song in my primary school.
Oh, why did you do that?
Like it was the end of year show.
Oh. I have so many questions for your teachers in general.
We were performing like the Billy Goat Scruff.
Of course. And the perfect tie-in was I'm too sick for my
No,
shirt.
not Billy Goat Scruff. What's the story about the 3 little goats trying to cross the bridge, but there's a troll under the bridge?
3 Billy Goats Crypt.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that one. So like the first billy goat gets across, the second billy goat gets across, and they're both like, "Hey, you shouldn't eat me because of, this reason, because of this reason."
Yeah.
The third billy goat goes to get across, and he's like, the troll's like, "I'm gonna eat you."
Yeah.
And the billy goat's like, "Nah, you shouldn't eat me." And the troll's all like, "Why?" And he's all like, "Because I'm too sexy for my shirt." So then me and all the boys in like year 7 got up and danced to "I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt," which is a weird thing to do in primary school.
Oh, yes.
And
so strange.
one of the guys in my class was like, "Hey, you know what? I'm wearing a jersey. I'm going to take it off all seductively and just throw it into the audience."
Oh.
And the teachers were like, "Nah, this is where we draw the line. You can't wear a jersey and throw it into the audience."
Oh.
And it's like, hey, you know what? That's a weird place for you to draw the
That is
line.
a strange line. Of all the places.
Like,
That's a
have a
weird
bunch
one.
of kids that are under 12 dance to "I'm Too Sexy to My Shirt." That's cool. That fits in with our guidelines. Throwing jerseys into the audience. Just,
okay.
Nah, inappropriate, guys.
Do your podcasts usually get this off topic?
I'll be honest, I think you and I have set a record.
Yes.
Back
to the topic then.
So, after Ewan McGregor and annoying accent chick flee the scene of the robbery, they didn't actually get any cash, did they?
No.
What a bunch of shit robbers.
Yeah.
Especially considering they'd done, quote, jobs like this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
They'd killed the guys who had guns.
Had they killed all of them though? I think they were running.
Ah, okay, cool. Now that's a fair enough reason to not take the cash.
I think maybe they were like, quick, let's get out of here. We won't get shot more.
So they go back to their apartment, and can we give the chick a name? I just feel like it's bad to say Ewan McGregor and the chick.
Blondie. Is it a bit naughty?
Nah, because that's a band.
Yeah, Blondie.
Blondie's trying to dig the bullet out of Ewan McGregor's leg. And he's all like, "Oh, that hurts." And she's like, "Stop being such a wanker. Stop whining about it." I love the word wanker in this. And Ewan McGregor's constantly like, "I don't understand why you're calling me a wanker." Even though I'm pretty sure he's British.
I think he's American. Was he
a British man playing an American in Britain? So she's like, stop whining about it. You always whine when I'm digging bullets out of you. And he's like, "Yeah, well the thing is it hurts every time you do it. And also, it's not even the right leg."
Which, honestly, I have so many problems with this scene. Because he waits for like how long has she been digging away in there?
Could you see an up-close shot? She's right deep into his leg.
Right, well, you have a whole big pan into the house where you hear him like yelling. And
because they make it look like they're having sex. There's kind of a lot of, ooh, put it in.
Yeah. And so there's this big pan through the apartment. Are they having sex or are they trying to get a bullet out?
Did you say, are they having sex?
Are they having sex? I did not say that, but that would be quite funny.
I mean, don't lie about not saying it, Annie. We got it on record.
If I did say it, I was not aware. It's just quite a long time for her to be digging around in the wrong leg. And then they are whining to each other, having a squabble. "Oh, you always whine, blah, blah, blah." And then he's like, "By the way, afterthought, it's not even in here, it's the other one." And you're like, I think that was at the point where I was like, I'm over it.
I don't want to bring our friendship into question again after saying I'd probably leave you alone if you took a point-blank shotgun to the chest.
Yeah.
But, like, if you were trying to pull a bullet out of me,
yeah,
I wouldn't let you dig around for a solid 30 seconds in my thigh before I told you were in the wrong leg.
Oh, yeah, and I bloody hope you wouldn't, because that doesn't sound very fun for either of us.
And while they're doing this, like, Ewan McGregor's screaming in pain, and their neighbour upstairs is like, "You're making too much noise, shut up!"
Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor's like, "Don't make me come up there," and he pulls out a gun and just unloads into the roof.
Ridiculous. I think that was after he'd shot at Blondie, wasn't it?
Yeah, true, because... Oh, what did she say?
They
She's
get
like,
into
"You
a
always
fight."
whine about being shot." And he's like, "That's because it hurts every time, see?" And then he pulls out the gun
And he shoots her.
He shoots her in the shoulder, right?
Yes.
And she goes, "Ow, you shot me!"
Yeah.
Which is an understandable response to being shot.
Yes.
And he's like, I barely grazed you. But
Yeah.
when, like, you see the blood of where she's been shot, like, she's clearly been shot through the shoulder,
Yeah.
which is, by definition, not a graze.
Like, and then he's like, oh, you'll be fine. And at this point, I was like, that is very blasé of you, because I think you can still bleed out if you get shot in a major vein in your arm or your leg. Anyway.
But then she's just like, you know what, I'm sick of you disrespecting me. And he's like, you'll never leave me, we're two of a kind, so just piss off, you'll be back. And
Yeah.
she's like, I won't be back, and if I am back you should be worried, because I'll fuck you up.
Yeah. Gonna.
And the scene ends. And then we change to the dive bar.
Wow. This part.
This is amazing. So you see the bartender, and he's cleaning glasses. 90% of a TV barman's job.
Yes.
And this guy walks in, he's like, hey man, can you help a guy out? I'm looking for something. And he's like, the barman's like, what are you looking for? And he's like, well, take a look around, what do you see? I see creepy ass guy in the corner. Clearly that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some big ass titties rubbing up against me.
Yeah.
Or I'm looking for some booty grinding against me on the dance floor.
Literally, word for word, both of those things. I was
Weird
like,
thing to ask the bartender for.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, is this
Especially when he's a dude.
a brothel? But it wasn't. It was just a bar. Oh, weird.
But then Blondie from before comes out. She's like, hey, is this what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Which, like, he's sitting at the bar. She's sitting at the bar. Literally like a pillar between them. A roof support. Weird that he didn't see her. I know there's a pillar just between them, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
I
take
think that
much.
she snuck out.
So he's
Listened
sitting
in.
at the bar, and she just sneaks up.
Yeah, listens in and then goes, hey, what about me? Oh man, this show. Whew.
So basically, they flirt for a bit. They reenact the scene from Pulp Fiction where John Travolta and What's Her Face dance on the dance floor.
Yeah.
What's the name of that actress? It's the same woman who played Kill Bill in Kill Bill. I think she's called the Bride. I don't think she's given a name. I think she's just called the Bride. No, it's not Charlize Theron. Not that I know how to pronounce her name. Anyway.
Looks like her though. Anyway.
All white people look the same.
You're not wrong.
Look, now we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
This is usually when a podcast would say, now for a quick message from our sponsors.
Right.
We don't have sponsors this week.
Ah.
Or most weeks, because let's be honest, this is a shit podcast. I'm just using this as an excuse to go take a leak.
I love it.
So
This podcast sponsored this week by Craig's Bladder. Good.
cool. Okay.
Good.
And we're back for like the second time. Blondie brings home the man from the bar,
Classic.
who is just a giant African American man. Right? Like he is tall
Very
AF.
tall. Very tall.
Ewan McGregor comes back to his apartment. He's yelling at his neighbour. He's like, man, I don't know how those bullet holes got in your floor. Guns are illegal. Every Tom, Dick and Harry knows that.
No, he said every Tom, Dick and Wanker. Didn't he?
Good on him for getting on board with that slang. He keeps pretending to not understand.
Yeah. Anyway.
Blondie's in the apartment having a shower. He's like, Blondie, is that you? And Blondie comes out. She's like, hey, Ewan McGregor. He's like, what have you been up to all day? And then
what have you been doing all day?
Yeah, the man comes out and he's like, more like, who's she been doing all day?
Great accent. That is how he sounded.
Thanks. Ewan McGregor's pretty upset by this.
Yeah.
Like, he pretends it's not affecting him.
I also thought it was quite weird. I guess they live there together, so that makes sense. But I was like, Blondie, why did you bring him back to your apartment that you shared with this other
Well,
guy?
clearly to rub salt in the wound, right?
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Ewan McGregor's like, okay, fine, you made your point. I'm sorry for shooting you. I won't do it again. Now get him out of my apartment. I can't believe you slept with one of those.
Yeah. Whoa.
And I'm just
Turn.
like, what the fuck? Racism?
Yeah, like, hardcore. So inappropriate.
I know that I originally thought this was a kid's show.
Well,
By this point, I'd given up on that.
You clear? Yeah. Oh,
But
shoot.
still, I was just like, this is...
That was still quite a tone change to just,
Right.
like, blatant, horrific racism.
And then, did we ever find out his name? I don't think we did, eh?
I don't really know anybody's names, to be honest.
Yeah, so he's just like, hey man, what the fuck?
Yeah, as you would.
And Ewan McGregor's like, look, it's not about the colour of your skin. To me, I judge a person's value on one thing, and it's whether they're alive or whether they're dead. And then he pulls out his gun again and just shoots him in the guts.
Yeah, she wasn't expecting that.
She wasn't expecting that.
Yep.
So yeah, he shoots him in the guts. And then Blondie's like, oh, I can't believe you do this every time.
Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor's like, hey, like, we agreed. Let's stop bringing humans into this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What do you mean bringing humans into this?
Yeah. That was weird. To be honest, I'm a bit ashamed to say it, but I did have a first thought of like, are they into bestiality? And then I was like, no, surely not. That's surely not what they mean.
This is the second time bestiality has come up in this podcast.
Well, like, I mean, I feel strangely better about that.
I mean, don't feel too good about it. I mean, the first time was this episode.
When?
Remember when I said primary school we did 3 billy goats gruff?
Yeah.
And then the third billy goat was like, I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Less blatant.
You know what?
But sure.
Primary school shows shouldn't contain goats talking about how sexy they are.
Agreed.
That's just, call me old school. That's just a personal preference I have.
Oh, yeah. I heartily agree. Anyway.
So,
we discover that they might not be who we think they are.
Yeah, don't say we're two of a kind, right? We're zombies.
Oh, hey. Surprise.
And you and I, the audience, we're like, we're shooketh.
Oh, it's shooketh, definitely.
But then the black guy.
Oh.
I don't want to call him the black guy, but also I don't feel like he was ever given a name.
Let's call him Dave.
Dave's like, you're not the only one who's undead.
Yeah.
And then he comes up and he's a vampire all of a sudden.
And they also have decided on some very strange lighting wherein they put a green spotlight on his face for the rest of the thing after that.
I mean, he's a vampire. Don't vampires just have green spotlights on their face constantly?
Oh, of course. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, Twilight must have been weird for you if you weren't just imagining green spotlights on their face all the time. But yeah, he gets up and he's like, you're not the only one who's undead. And all of a sudden, his eyes are like, you know, that whole milky white thing.
Ugh.
And he's got these 2 giant fangs. And it's like, you know what? I've seen all the Twilight films. And
That's embarrassing.
not once did they get shot and all of a sudden their fangs come out and their eyes become milky white.
True. That's some strange vampire logic. To be honest, after this I got quite confused about the plot.
Yeah.
Then what happened? They had a fight.
They start having a fight. And the vampire is like, zombies, eh? I mean, you can stick your dick in them, but you wouldn't want to be one of them.
Did he actually say that?
It's a legit thing he said.
Gosh, I've missed that. Jeez Louise, this is getting less and less PC as we go. Definitely not G-rated anymore.
No, you know what? At this stage, I was like, you know what? I don't think the show's for kids. So they start having a fight. He gets shot a couple more times. Doesn't do anything.
I was like, why are they even bothering at this point?
Ewan McGregor breaks a bar stool and goes to like stab him. But Blondie, who was behind him, pulls out like a bow and arrow from under her pillow. And she's...
I do not remember this bit. What?
Yeah, she pulls out like an arrow from under her bed.
Yeah.
No, sorry, under her pillow. And she stabs him.
Yeah.
And it's an up-close shot of him getting stabbed. And I'm like, I don't understand what I'm looking at, but he got stabbed. And then I'm like, wait, did he get stabbed in the dick?
I do remember this bit. Yeah. That's right.
And the vampire is pretty pissed off that he's been stabbed in the dick.
As he would be.
So he turns around to Blondie and he's like, I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your neck.
Okay, did he say that?
He did. Word for word.
What? Okay.
That's why I've got the quote here in my notes saying, shit down your throat. And then Blondie's like, hey, fuck you, Count Chocula.
I feel like maybe I'm way drunker than I think that I am, because I missed that insult anyway. Wow. Can we watch the end of this again once we finish with this?
Well, let's watch another episode after this.
No, we just want to watch the end. Anyway, carry
on. So, Ewan McGregor and Blondie get the upper hand in this fight. Fair enough. After you've been stabbed in the dick, you're probably not going to win a fight that's 2 against 1.
True.
And they're holding up a weapon to his face. I'm pretty sure it was a gun, but in retrospective, like, holding a gun to a vampire's face is fuck all. So it's probably a stake, right?
True.
And the vampire's like, nah, not in the face. I'm like, hey, they've come full circle.
Right. Yeah.
Hey. But then Count Chocula's like, you can't die, but you can't fly. So he grabs them both and jumps out a window, and they fall to the ground. In the next scene, you see Blondie and Ewan McGregor in a bar, and Blondie's like, man, these vampires think they're better than us, but the only difference between them and us is they can turn into a bat at will and fly away, and we're zombies. And the camera pans around to Ewan McGregor, whose face is just messed up. Like, he's clearly landed face first on the concrete after this 2-story drop. He's got bones sticking out everywhere, his skin's peeled back. And he's like, oh,
yeah, that...
And because it's early 90s, the prosthetics and the budget mean you can't open his mouth with these special effects. So even though he's having a conversation, he can't move his mouth.
And then that's it.
That's the end of the episode.
And then...
Part of me is like, thank fuck. The other part of me is like, let's watch another episode.
Well, then you go back to the Crypt keeper.
Oh god, yeah, we do.
And he's like, he says something, and then he's like, ha ha ha, and it pans out.
He's like, I'm the Crypt Keeper. Rudely toot toot.
Oh, me and him both. And then the couple that he was counselling have both been stabbed in the back.
That's right.
Literally.
And I'm thinking, like, is this a pun on couples and, you know, marriage and stabbing each other in the back? Or has the Crypt Keeper just murdered these people he was giving therapy to?
I know. And then I was like, what if they're vampires? Maybe
oh my god, I hadn't thought of this.
They just do that to each other and they fight.
And
then they come back alive again.
I mean, look, that, for me...
It's just a healthy relationship all round.
Exactly.
Dang. Oh.
Any final thoughts?
It was probably one of the weirdest things we've ever watched.
Yeah. Especially when you think it's a kid's show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was bumping and grinding.
There
was racial slurs. There was, like, blood and gore.
Gay slurs.
It's a good show.
Anyway. Wow.
Look. Segueing violently from gay slurs to something not going to get me demonetized.
Yeah.
Not that I make money for doing this anyway. Let's move on to this month's Letter of the Week.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know what, Annie? Today's a special day.
Oh.
We have 2 letters of the week.
Oh. Great.
The first one is from Mona.
Yeah.
Who, as per usual, she's not on the show. So she's in my shit list. But the one I'm going to read now... Did I
Yeah.
say the first one's from Mona?
Yeah.
You know what? The second one's from Mona.
Okay.
The first one's on... I got right here. In my hands, written on a piece of paper.
Oh my goodness.
Today's first letter of the week.
It's analog.
This month's letter of the week.
Yeah.
Written on paper.
Wow.
It was in my letterbox. It's a
Throwbacks.
legit letter.
Wow.
From Body Corporate.
Specifically to the podcast.
Yeah, and it says... Recently, there has been a noticeable increase in the amount of rubbish and recycling bins stored in clear sight from common property. All residents are reminded that under Body Corporate rules, rubbish and is underlined, and recycling bins must be kept inside garages or back gardens. My house doesn't have a back garden. Some people are lucky enough to have one.
Yeah, bastards.
I'm not keeping it in my garage. That's where I keep my car.
Stink up the garage. Also, there is literally no room in your garage.
I know this. You know this.
I know this.
You put my bicycle in there the other day.
And there was
Because you
barely...
borrowed my bicycle. You didn't ask.
I asked Mona. Well, Mona offered it, actually.
Yeah, no, she did. She offered it on my behalf.
Yep.
This is not the reason she's in my share list.
Okay.
This is what you do.
It was a good bike. I
Thank
enjoyed it,
you.
And I brought it back in one piece.
I'm glad
so
you enjoy my bike. I put a lot of work into that.
No need to be grumpy. I'll go back just as it. Anyway, I would just like to say to the Body Corporate,
Fuck yeah. I'll put my rubbish bins where I want. I don't have a backyard.
yeah.
And I'm not putting it in my garage because the garage is inside my house. I don't want my outside rubbish bin inside my house. That smells bad. That's got 3 weeks worth of rubbish in there, including food scraps.
Oh,
If
people
people
get
eat...
it recovered. I mean, collection every 3 weeks.
Nah, true. What am I on about? Every 2 weeks. No, every week. Look.
Still,
I
a
think
week of rubbish is not, as sometimes, depending on the rubbish, not a super fun aroma.
Let's be honest. I live in a house with 4 people. You can fill a rubbish bin in 1 day. You know?
Oh,
And,
jeez. You
look-
guys need to work on your waste management. But
Hey,
anyway,
I didn't say we do every day. I say we could.
You could.
But yeah, my roommates, and maybe I, who's to say,
Yeah.
we eat meat,
Yeah,
and we eat chicken.
right.
Chicken
Sometimes-
smells bad.
Sometimes you've got chicken bones or chicken skin that you
It-
have to throw out.
It goes off in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're keeping it in your bin for a week, it smells bloody rancid.
It's not a good time.
I'm not keeping that inside my house. I'm keeping it off to the side of my house.
Yeah.
In my weird garden / roommate's car park stone area.
Yeah. I would just say
Mm.
that you can put your meat in a little bag in the freezer and then it doesn't smell.
You know what, Annie? I use my freezer to put food in.
Oh, it's just a little bag.
I'm not putting rubbish in my freezer.
I mean, you could. It's what I'm saying, and then you...
You know what else I
Wouldn't
could do?
smell.
I could shoot myself in the foot, but you know what? I choose not to.
I'm just saying, it's top tip. Anyway.
I wouldn't say top tip. That's patting yourself on the back.
Anyway, I think that my request to the Body Corp would be to do a bit more research before sending a letter. For example, as you said, you don't have a garden. It's just quite irrelevant to mention a garden.
I have a weird, small outdoor area the size of a balcony
Right.
with my washing line, which I don't use because the washing line's crap and liable to fall off the fence because it's attached to the fence.
Perfect.
Good. It's it's got tiles, but
Mm.
in order to get to it, I have to go through my roommate's room and through the hallway, and I don't want to take my outside bin full of chicken remains through my hallway
Way.
and through Jessica's room.
That's so true.
So my advice to Body Corporate would be to fuck off.
Also
Yeah.
good advice. Yeah.
When I moved into this house, I didn't realise I was moving into communist territory where I had to conform to these weird rules that I didn't agree to.
Yeah, well, actually you probably did when you
No, I didn't. I rent this house, and never in the bloody ad did it say, hey, you know what? Keep your bins inside.
Did
with
you sign
your-
a contract though with the Body Corporate?
No, I signed a contract with the property managers, who never said keep your smelly food inside for a week.
Yeah, fair. Okay, fair.
Cool.
Alright.
So you know what? That's
Done.
That's one of this month's letter of the week.
Yeah, good. No more of those, please. That was unpleasant.
Yeah, Body Corporate, if you're listening, don't write in again, because you're a bunch of shit dicks.
No more correspondence from you, please.
A second letter of this month's letter of the week comes from Mona. Here's why she's in my shit list.
Oh.
One of the many reasons.
Jeez. Okay.
Put a post up recently on the Instagram that said of the new series of Bob the Builder. You been watching the new series of Bob the Builder?
I actually haven't.
Hey,
No.
yeah, well, you know what? It's changed from back in the day when you and I used to watch it.
Oh, dang.
This is what it looks like now.
Ah,
Right?
quite strange.
Jesus Christ, that's terrifying.
He looks like he's about 12.
He looks like Annie. He wants to wear your skin as a mask.
Oh, well, that's a thought I can't unthink.
Does it not remind you kind of like a Chucky doll, but more alive?
Oh, yes, now that you say these things.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you're listening along, Google Bob the Builder and look up the modern series.
Oh.
It's nightmare fuel. I said, at what stage does Bob the Builder become the stuff of nightmares? You know?
Yeah.
Mona commented on it, and she said, it became the stuff of nightmares when I discovered that you could so perfectly do a Spud impersonation. Well, at least that is when it became the stuff of nightmares for me.
Please do your Spud impersonation.
Tell you what, let me go on YouTube here, and I'll look up Spud from Bob the Builder.
Please. I do remember him being quite freaky.
Do you?
Yeah, like that was the stuff of nightmares even before the modern Bob.
You were weirded out by strange things as a child.
I mean, yes. You're correct.
I hope this doesn't get me copyright struck for playing this, but like I said, I don't make any money for doing it anyway.
So, whatever.
So, here's a brief snippet of Bob the Builder.
Spud.
That's the intro song. Let's skip ahead. Oh my god, they got the whole theme song here. Scoop, Muck and Dirt. Oh, fuck you.
Scoop, Muck and Dick?
Scoop, Muck and Dizzy. Dizzy's the cement mixer.
I know, but I thought you were saying Dick.
Oh god, this is a whole episode about Spud the Scarecrow.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted a compilation of Spud.
Entitled
How come-
Scary Spud. To prove that I am not wrong as a child in thinking that he was scary, just so you know.
I just want some clips of Spud talking. Like, you know what, I'm gonna do some editing here. For once in my life, I'll edit this podcast. So
It's only
We'll
a
skip
bloody
forward
long
in
podcast. So.
I'll tell you what, currently I'm watching an ad for Game of Thrones. Oh, it's a skeleton horse against an army of people.
You could skip the ad.
I could, but you know what? I kind of interested in this ad. I haven't watched Game of Thrones since season 3.
Okay.
Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder. Where is Spud?
Scoop, Muck and Dizzy.
Travis
Join the
and
crew.
Spud.
Bob.
Travis wasn't even one of Spud's building.
Who's Travis?
Travis is a tractor. He was
Yeah.
called Travis the Tractor.
Bob and the gang
Have so much fun. Working together, they get the job done. My internet's frozen.
Can we fix it?
I don't know. We should probably call Spark. Fuck off.
Well, that's what I do every day. I want to do something different. Hey,
Oh, that's horrifying.
Here's Spud from Bob the Builder.
you're a scarecrow. You should be in
That's
Bob
Travis.
Nichols' field,
Shut up,
scaring
Travis.
crows. Oh, but that's what I do every day. I want to do something different. Hey,
Okay, and here's me. Oh, but that's what I do every day. I want to do something different.
I mean, I'm with Mona on this, to be honest.
What, that it's creepy or that that's a spot-on impression of Spud?
Both.
Do you know why Mona's afraid of that impression?
What?
Me and Jeff, we got wasted one night.
Classic? Yeah.
We sent her a Snapchat of me doing Spud impressions.
Of course.
If I remember it was something like this. Spud's on the job, Bob. Go fuck yourself. It's 11:22 at night, and I'm worried that I just woke up Mona to one of the sounds she's openly admitted to being afraid of.
I just thought about that. I was like, you've just woke up the whole flat. Oh.
So that is this month's letter of the week.
Good. Thanks, Mona. Thanks for writing in, Mona.
Fuck you.
I'm thoroughly on board with you. I think that is a very creepy thing that Greg can do, and I probably want to hear it never again.
I think you're just jealous of my talent. People are always jealous of talent.
People are jealous of talent, but maybe not in this case.
Speaking of talent, Annie, also fuck you. Speaking of... you have your own podcast. Do you want to plug it now?
I would love to plug my own podcast. I am about to be releasing the very first episode of my new and exciting international podcast. It's called Yarns with Friends. Me and 3 friends from all corners of the earth.
Is it
Canada,
the same 3 friends every week?
Same 3 friends every week. Sometimes we will have guests. And we hail from all corners of the globe, specifically New Zealand, Canada, the UK and America. And we come together to talk about what's going on in current events in our countries, complain about some stuff, there's jokes, there's our favourite music of the week. It's a good old time, and you will find it on iTunes very soon.
Pretty sure you have to pay for iTunes, so I'm fucking impressed. That's a baller move for you to pull.
You don't have to pay for iTunes.
Oh fuck, I'm doing something wrong.
You pay for it.
No, I'm cheap. I'm cheap as fuck. I just don't think I'm on iTunes. Maybe I am. Tell you what, search the show on iTunes.
Oh, not on iTunes, but on Apple Podcasts. Sorry.
That's right. Search for it on Apple Podcasts because Annie subscribed to it.
Yeah.
I know this because I did it for her.
It.
I stole her phone and I subscribed to my own podcast because that's how desperate I am for views. So hey, like and subscribe. Favorite, give us a rating.
5 stars is the rating that you should give.
If it's out of 5 stars. If it's out of 10, don't give it a 5.
Well, I think on podcasts
Dick move.
it is 5 stars.
But yeah, tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
listen to my podcast when it comes out.
yeah. How long have you been working on that podcast for, Annie? How long have you been editing the first and only episode for?
Listen, it's been a long creation process. The first podcast. I wanted to make it, real good.
You mean
For
you
the
put
listeners
effort
out
into
there.
editing?
Yeah. I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Baller move.
I'll tell you about it sometime, Craig.
That's very cash money of you.
Yeah, but after I've perfected my edit, it will be live
Cool.
soon.
So look out for that on iTunes, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcast, not iTunes if you have to pay for it.
Don't look anywhere else. That's the one place Annie's going to upload to.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey Annie, upload onto Spreaker / iHeartRadio. It's like $5 a month.
Oh, okay. Alright. It might be on iHeartRadio too.
Any final thoughts you want to share with the people? The people, or probably 12 of them that are subscribed. No, I have 22 subscribers last time I checked.
Yo!
But out of those 22 subscribers, probably 2 listen. So, any thoughts you want to share with the 2 people that are listening?
It's been an honour to be on this podcast. Thanks to Craig for the beer. And
It was in the back of my fridge and I didn't like it.
I'm still grateful. And smash the patriarchy.
Yep, do that. Also smash the like button. Smash the patriarchy first. No, you know what? Smash the like button first. It's faster.
And easier.
Yeah, then smash the
Then smash the
patriarchy.
patriarchy.
Break
Don't-
that glass ceiling.
But don't forget about that bit. It's important.
Do them both.
Both.
They're not equally important. I'm saying that smashing the patriarchy is more important,
Good.
but also smash the like
But the
button
like
first.
button, quite important.
Easier and faster.
And easier and faster.
On that note, I've been Craig.
I am Annie, and will continue to be Annie.
That's a good point. I'll also continue to be Craig. Maybe in the future I'll decide to change that.
You never know.
I might change my name to Gabriel. Or
And
Paul.
Then he could sign off with "I have been Craig."
Or I am Paul. Have been Craig. I am Paul.
Ample, yeah,
Not Apple.
not ample.
That's one of Gwyneth Paltrow's kids. Apple and Moses.
Oh, Gwyneth.
fuck Gwyneth Paltrow and her husband, who I think is in Coldplay.
Yes.
Also,
That's-
fuck Coldplay for making it mandatory for me to download the new album on my iPod.
What,
I say new album, this was like several years ago.
I think that was you too.
But yeah, U2, Coldplay, all white artists sound the same.
No. Not sure.
And on that note, we've already done this.
Yeah.
I'm still Craig,
Still and continue to be Annie.
and you've been listening to Too Ugly for Radio. Get off my lawn. Annie, say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Get off my lawn.
Why did we say that?
That's my outro.
Oh,
Some people say peace. Some people say like and subscribe.
you say get off my lawn.
Because, you know what, at heart,
Yeah.
I'm an 80-year-old man who's just angry at the world. And I am, because skinny jeans are a thing. And they look stupid. And men wearing skinny jeans look stupid.
Okay.
Don't emphasize how small your legs are. All you're doing to me is showing, you know what, if we were in a fight, I could pretty easily take out your knees because they're so scrawny. And you're a waste of space as a person.
I have so many objections to that comment.
Annie, when was the last time you were in a physical fight with a man? Because the best thing you can do, sweep the leg.
That's,
That's harder to do if they have big, chunky, tree trunk legs.
okay. I'll take that tip, but I still like skinny jeans.
Yeah, no, that's good. And you know what? If you have legs that are built like a brick shit house, wear skinny jeans. Show me that your legs are terrifyingly large. But if you've got normal sized legs and you're wearing skinny jeans,
That's
just
also okay.
know that I think.
Wow, that was just a whole lot of toxic masculinity and
We don't approve of fighting.
no fighting. We're a pacifist podcast.
Yeah.
For tonight.
Yeah, unless it's communism. In which case, you know what? Uprise. Don't let people tell you where you can put your fucking bins.
True. Violence may be used to protect bin rights.
To protect your freedom, your civil liberties, and where you can put your wheelie bin.
Oh, yes. All equally important.
Have a good one. Enjoy not living in a communist society.
Always.
Bye.
Bye.